Hi, everybody. We're going to read a textbook passage entitled How Are Traits Inherited? Okay, so traits are specific characteristics of an organism. So, characteristics, forms of characteristics, trait might be blue eyes, green eyes, brown eyes. It might be brown hair, blonde hair, red hair. Those are traits. And how do you get those traits? You get those traits from your parents. So we're going to look at this passage, we're going to read through it, and then we're going to look at a tree, a pedigree tree down on the bottom that shows how you could trace traits back. So this reads, how are traits inherited from parent to offspring? Although you and your classmates are all the same species, Homo sapiens, you have different eye colors, hair colors, and heights. Why are you all so different? How do you inherit traits from your parents? Do all organisms inherit traits through the same processes? Heredity is the passing traits from parents to offspring, and offspring are just babies or children. Scientists studying heredity have been answering questions such as these for centuries. Okay, so heredity is the passing of genetic material from your parents to you. So, what's genetics? Genetics is the study of how traits pass from parents to offspring. All organisms have genes. Genes determine everything from an organism's shape to its life functions. Genes can even control how an organism behaves. For most organisms, genes are sections of DNA that contain information about a specific trait of that organism. This information can vary. So think back to when we were doing cells. So we know that all plant cells and animal cells have a nucleus. In that nucleus is that DNA. And that DNA is sort of like a great big cookbook, right? All of your cells have the same DNA. It's a cookbook of everything that your body needs. And so that DNA is stored in the nucleus of your cells. An individual organism expresses the traits in the genes it inherited. So the expression is, what does it look like? For example, if your eyes are blue, it is because you inherited the genes for blue color from your parents. In fact, the specific combination of the genes you inherited from your parents for all of your traits is unique. Unless you are an identical twin, triplet, or quadruplet, which is 4 of you, there's no other person with the same combination of all of your genes. And so if we look down here at this, it's called a pedigree tree. So let's just say that this is you over here in the purple hat. So we're going to go back up to the tree. These are your parents, right? This is your daddy. This is your mama. Well, notice that this line follows up to here. This tells you that these are your mom's parents. So that would be your grandparents. So notice that your grandparents had your mom. Notice your dad is not connected to them, right? Because he doesn't share genes with them, but your mom does. So your mom is connected to your grandparents. Your mom and your dad had you and your 2 sisters. Now notice that there is some variety in the eye color and the hair color, right? You're still similar, but there are traits differences, okay? You're similar, but you're unique. Unique means that you're an individual. Let's go to the other side of this pedigree tree. So we still have your grandparents, right? So the line goes from your grandparents to this dude. This dude is your mom's brother, right? They're sharing the same parents. And not all kids share both parents, but in this case, they do. And so you have your uncle here, who is your mom's brother, and your uncle has children with this lady. That would be your aunt, right? So they have children, and so they have 2 boys and they have a girl. And notice that there is some differences in the kids. So these would be your cousins, and this is their grandparents, okay? So you have to follow the lines. Now, all of the lines are here, and this, even though the line isn't on this boy, this line here tells you that all 3 of these kids come from these 2. Same thing over here. All 3 of these kids come from these 2. And so, where did you get the traits that make you you? You got these traits from your parents. Okay. Now, in high school, you're going to learn a whole lot more about genetics. But right now, we're just trying to give you a brief overview and we're skipping a lot of stuff. But this will at least explain where traits come from. And then we're going to look at how do mutations occur. So I hope this helped.